let's talk about API. API is a set of protocols and tools that allow different software and applications to communicate with each other. It acts as an intermediary that takes a request from a user or a client and then send it to the server, which the server then collects the request, process it, and then send back a response. So how does API work? API work through this request and response cycle. So the client send the request and then the server send the response, like I explained before. So an example of the use case is if you have a website that shows um, the address of a restaurant and you don't have the restaurant address on your database, you would just want to get the restaurant information from Google, right? You send an API because Google would give you their own API key. You send in a request to Google and then Google will return back the response with the data that you implement on your own website. So we have different type of API. We have web APIs, local API, and program APIs. We also have API architecture, but let's explain what that web API means. Web APIs, these are the most common and are used to enable data and functionality transfer over the internet using HTTP protocols. And we have local APIs. These provide local middle services such as telephony, application programming interface. And then we have program API. This is for remote program. All right, so we have REST API architecture. We have SOAP API architecture. We have GraphQL, webhooks, and gRPC. So we'll be focusing on the REST API because this one uses HTTP standard. So it uses get, post, put, delete to interact with resources. So I'm going to show you guys how to send a get request to a server to get an API, right? Or a post request, sorry. So I have my own website whereby this website we offer IP geolocation. So that's what I'll be using for this video. So okay. So this website, if you go to this website, we give you real-time IP geolocation data, including the country, the city, the ISBN, and more. So if you want to get an information about an IP address or where that IP address location is coming from, we give you the information for the geolocation data. So we have the free plan, which is 50 requests per day, and then we have the pro plan, which is 10,000 requests per day. If you want to customize version, you can contact us. So I already have an account set up, so let's just get started. So we create an account. So obviously, as you can see, the free plan, and this is my IP address here, and you can see the country, the city, the region, and the time zone. All right. This data does not mean that that's where the user actually is, but it just gives you an idea of the country the user is, the city of where the IP address is coming from, the region, and the time zone. So you can use this to make an authentication server or know where your user is coming from. So we create an API key. And in order to use this API, I'm going to use Postman for this point where we going to make a request. So we're going to be using Postman for this. So we're going to sign up with Google. I'm going to be using the Postman to make a request because we don't have a server yet. So I'll be showing you guys from Postman. Just hold on, let it load. As you can see, let's go to the documentation. the documentation on this API says that you should use the API endpoint to send a post request to our server with your API key and your IP address, and then you get a response of different data source: continent, country, region, city, latitude, longitude, time zone, ISBN. So let's just get started. Let's copy this. We're about to send a post request. So we're sending a post request to this, and we're going to be using a URL send data. So as you can see from this, say write your API key and your IP address. Okay, so when we go back here, we'll copy our API key, paste it, and then the IP address that we want to use. Obviously, we already have our own IP address that is being shown here, so I'm just going to copy this IP address here. Alright, so you already understand what API means and how API works, but I want to show you how to send it and how it works. So in this Postman, what they are doing is they already have a environment set up for you so that you can test any API you want to test and get a data. But if you want to implement it on your own database, you use, let's say you're using PHP. What you're going to do is you're going to send a call request, or you're going to send a post request to the server that you're using, and then you're going to get the response back and then display it. So let's send this request to see the response we're getting. And as you can see, we already get a response. We already got the response, and on this response we are having is being responded in JSON. So the result is being delivered in JSON. You have the status success, you have the continent code, the region name, the district, the zip, the latitude and longitude number. You have the time zone, the offsets. You have currency. So what currency is this IP using? You have the ISPN, which is MTN. You have the organization, AS name, and so on. So you have the if it's mobile, if it's being sent from mobile, it's true. If it's being sent from a proxy first and the hosting true, then you have the IP address. So this is the data you'll be getting from the test results, because obviously this it's so if you are using the pro plan, you have more access to data that you're having. Alright, so as you can see, we already get a post request and we're getting our response. So this is how API works. So when you send a request, you get a response back. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys, and like and follow for more videos like this. I will drop a link in my bio for the website, so please check out my website and use the API key there. Thank you so much.